Welcome back, everyone. Perseverance pays. So right now I am getting ready to do my first short day hike on the Appalachian Trail. So it's been over a month since I've been able to get out and hike. It's been a very wet spring, and the days that I had originally planned to get out and hike was pouring. And plus we're at the very tail end of the school year, and those of you that are parents know how crazy the end of the school year can be. My son has a day and a half left of school, so and the weather's finally starting to get better, and so my schedule should be opening up. There's still a lot of hikes I want to do at the state park, but that is less than 2 miles from my house, so that's something I can do spare of the moment. So but today I'm at the western terminus of the Mason-Dixon Trail, where it meets the Appalachian Trail. So, and I'm hiking on the Appalachian Trail starting at Whiskey Springs, and I'm going to be hiking up to the Alec Kennedy shelter and then back. It's approximately 3.8 miles, so a little bit more, because I'm probably maybe 0.2, 0.3 from the trailhead where I'm parked. So, but anyways, so I'm excited. It's my first hike on the Appalachian Trail. So let's get out there and hike. So I'm walking to the trailhead. It's a beautiful day. It's sunny, but the temperatures are in the mid 70s, low humidity, really nice, cool breeze. It's actually a perfect day for hiking. If all goes well today, because those of you that watched some of my videos earlier this year, you know that I last winter had a knee injury, and I was hiking at Pinchot Park, and it's not strenuous hiking at all there, to test my knee, and it's doing great. This will be my first experience on mountains, but if this all goes well, I'm hoping this weekend to do my first overnight. So we'll see how today goes with my knee. And really great water source. And we're going this way. Really cool rocks. When I first got on trail, I passed two gentlemen that were just day hikers, but I haven't seen anyone else, which is surprising considering what a gorgeous day. And well, of course it is a work day, so if this was Saturday, there'd probably be a lot more day hikers out. The breeze feels amazing though. It's nice and cool. Excuse me. So I made it up my first climb a while back, and I've just been kind of walking on top of the ridge. So I got 2 more climbs till I get to the shelter. I was going to pull my phone out earlier, but I've been kind of doing some thinking while I've been hiking about upcoming hikes and stuff. I'm just trying to figure out some of the logistics in my head. So, but anyways, I am very slow, but this is my first hike on the Appalachian Trail and my first climb of the year. So I know as the hiking season continues on, I'll get faster. So, and like I said, I'm still, so far my knee's doing great, but I'm still trying to be careful with my knee until I know for sure. I'm actually thinking about investing in a knee brace. So we'll have to see. So far I'm doing great. So I'm just moving slow, but I'm also taking my time and just taking it all in. So I've definitely needed this hike. I told my husband yesterday I need some AT therapy to reset, and this is always a great place to reset. So I'm descending. So while I'm descending, and of course I'm going to take my time, watch my step, but one of the things I was thinking about, I said earlier that I was thinking, because I want to do an overnight this weekend, but my husband is working. He's off today, so I had the car to come here, but we only have one vehicle right now, so he's working. And
1 mile and 58 minutes 13 seconds.
I made it a mile. So, and as you say, it took me 58 minutes, but I was climbing. So I'm just taking my time. A couple times I stopped and just kind of enjoyed the scenery. But anyways, I'm thinking, because I can't get on trail till after he gets out of work. He gets out of work at 2, but he usually doesn't get home till about 3 o'clock, and sometimes a little bit earlier, depending on if he's got a stop to make on his way home. But my overnight will be at the shelter I'm heading to right now, but I'm actually thinking about having him drop me off at Whiskey Springs and just doing a northbound instead of doing Boiling Springs to the shelter and then back to Boiling Springs. I'll go Whiskey Springs to the shelter, then into Boiling Springs. Mainly because I'll have, I won't have a whole lot of time to get to the shelter when he drops me off in the afternoon. And he has a stressful job. My husband is a sergeant at a state prison. So when he gets out of work, he just wants to relax. And Whiskey Springs is not very far from my house at all. I mean, it's literally just a mile from the border of the school district that we live in. So I may just switch it up, because normally when I do my first overnight, I start in Boiling Springs, spend the night at the shelter, and then hike back to Boiling Springs. And because he'll be picking me up after work, I'll have a lot more time to the next day. So I may just have him drop me off at Whiskey Springs, do northbound, and then, so it's cutting off maybe a little less than 2 miles from the original hike, but I also have to think time-wise. If it was his days off, it wouldn't be a big deal. And I was hoping to do that overnight last weekend, but we had some things going on, so it just didn't work out. There's probably about 5 or 6 hikes that I had planned on doing this past spring that I didn't get a chance to do, but the ones I want to do at the state park, are not a big deal because the state park is less than 2 miles from my house. So when my husband gets home from work, I can just jump in the car and go do those hikes. So that's what I'm thinking about doing. So, but I'm gonna put the phone away and continue on. I know I'm getting pretty close to my second climb. I've been ascending for a little bit. So I have to catch my breath. So it hasn't gotten too steep yet, but we're about to get into the steeper part. So let's do this second climb. Starting to get into the beautiful mountain laurel. Really pretty. Smells amazing through here. Climb number 2 is done. I'm getting ready to start my descent. I always look for that campsite. Whew. So I know it's on the top. And I was on the top for a little bit. So, but this is where I start my descent, and then one more climb to the shelter. I'm going to take a break, have a snack, and then head back. Still descending. Still descending, but I am 2 miles in. I know I'm almost to the bottom. So this part's kind of rocky, so I'm not gonna film. The rest of that was fairly smooth coming down. So, but 2 miles in. And other than those 2 day hikers that were heading south when I first got on the trail, I haven't seen anyone out here, not even through hikers. So usually this time of year you get a few, especially the ones that started early, like in January and February. So, but almost there. All right, I made it down, and there's the 2 campsites here, and gonna cross this, hopefully without getting wet. And I just have a short little climb up to the shelter. So almost there. And I am gonna put my phone away before I do this. Made it across without getting wet. And now up to the shelter. All right, I made it to the end of the trailhead that goes to the shelter, and it's maybe 0.1, 0.2 if that. So let's get to the shelter and take a bit of a break before I head back. All right, made it to the Alec shelter, and still no one here. So I'm just gonna relax here for a bit, have a snack, and head back. It's about 5:15. Was here for a good half hour. Now I'm heading back to my car. All right, back on the AT, and we're gonna work our way down back to that stream. So I'm gonna be crossing in a second. Oh, there's a blaze. Let me see if I can zoom in. A red blaze right there. Interesting. I'm gonna have to check that out, and maybe it's another hiking trail I wasn't aware of. Anyway, I can check the All Trails app. Anyway, shortly after I turned off the recording, I finally ran into another hiker. He was a section hiker heading to the shelter. I don't know where he started from, but he was only going as far as Delaware Water Gap. So, but across this and then start the trek up the mountain. 2 climbs till I get to the car. Almost to the top. I'm just stopping to catch my breath. I just hit 3 miles, and when I hit the 3-mile mark, I finally ran into my first through hiker, checkmate. We were talking, and he had an accent, which, you know, dead giveaway, like, you're not from here. And he's from the Czech Republic, which is why he goes by checkmate. So, but I'm almost to the top. I just had to stop, catch my breath, and get a drink. So once I get to the top of this one, then I have one more climb, not quite as big as this one, and then the downhill to the car. That climb is done. I have one more, not quite as big. And now I'm starting to see the through hikers. I just passed another through hiker named Townsman. So, end of the day, everyone's heading to the shelter. Four miles in. I think that's it for my climbs. It certainly looks like I'm at the top, but I could be wrong. I passed 2 more through hikers. One didn't have a trail name yet. The other one's trail name was Wit. And then a gentleman who was out for 11 days. So I should be almost there. I'm expecting to see the big rock formations soon. And then I'll make my way down. I may have a little bit more climbing to do, but if I do, it's not much. At the big boulders. So I am now starting my descent. My guess is I have half mile, maybe less. So I actually just was sitting on that log talking to my husband because it's a work night for him, so he's going to bed early. So I'm not going to see him when I get home. So, but Oh, my first hike on the Appalachian Trail, my first time this year climbing mountains. I can feel it, and you know what? I am going to sleep like a rock tonight, but it has been a beautiful day and a beautiful hike, and I'm so glad I came out. So now I'm going to start making my way down to the road. All right, we've come to the end. I feel like this took me a lot longer this year than it did last year. But it was still a great hike. Thankfully, it's not blistering hot. And it's, what time is it? It's almost 8 o'clock. So, still have a good hour before the sunset, so I had plenty of time, but it was a great hike, so.
5 miles in 5 hours 2 minutes 33 seconds. Average pace 1 hour 28 seconds per mile.
Takes me about an hour to do a mile. When I'm home walking on the road, I can do, in 1 hour I can do 3 miles, but the mountains are definitely a factor, and the rocks. So I'm gonna head to the car now. So that's it for this hike, 5.1 miles. Seems a little off to me. I don't know if my tracker's off, but I also have to remember I parked 0.1 from the trailhead, and plus also getting to the shelter was maybe 0.2. That may have added 0.6 miles to it. So, but I definitely feels like it took me a lot longer to do that this year than it did last year. But I think a lot of that has to do with my knee, and this was my first hike this year on the Appalachian Trail. So, but anyways, it was a great hike. So glad I got off before it got dark. So until next time, happy hiking, and I'll see you on the trail.